He goes, he was from Canada. And he goes, you know what you call, rednecks, we call doofies. And so I'm going to make it back to rednecks because I can't remember his version. But he said, the 16-year-old kid, he's a redneck. And he tries to sneak into a cat house. The madam looks at him and she's like, no way, he's going to get us shut down. His older brother was trying to get him in. He's like, come on. She's like, no, he's going to get us shut down. Tell him to go out in the yard. There's a tree with a hole in it. You can practice there. So about a year later, the kid tries to sneak in again with his brother, and the madam spots him right away. She goes, no, in the yard, practice on the tree. So about 3 years later, the kid's all big, strapping kid now. He's shaving. He goes into the cat house, and the madam recognizes him. She goes, you've graduated. Come on in. I'm going to give you the best girl in the house. And he goes upstairs with Svetlana. All of a sudden, the girl comes running out about a minute later, screaming, he's crazy. He's trying to attack me with a big stick, going at my crotch. So the madam goes, what are you doing? And the kid goes, I was checking for squirrels. The Minnesota guys, they know exactly what I'm talking about. You got Yankee fans here or Met fans? I'm a Met fan. Yeah. Mets, we got some Mets? It's 6-0. The Mets are getting their ass kicked. Oh, it's 9-1. Thank you. Thank you, Kurt Gowdy Jr., for jumping right in there. It was 6-0 when I came in here waiting for this. You know what it is? Growing up as a kid, I always noticed subtle differences between the Yankees and the Mets. I remember the first time I went to Yankee Stadium, I looked out at center field. There was Monument Park, right? Beautiful plaques and statues. 2 weeks later on a Cub Scout trip, I went to Shea for the first time. I looked out at center field. There was Joe Pignatano's tomato plants. It's the same thing again. Go to Yankee Stadium, yell out Raul. You're cheering for Ibanez, right? The left fielder. Go to Citi Field and yell out Raul. They start a wave in the bleachers. There's a lot of Mets. There's a lot of Spanish at the Met games. That's all I'm saying. When the Mets play a doubleheader, you can't get a dish washed in the Metropolitan area. Did you see the closing ceremonies from Yankee Stadium and Shea Stadium? It was like a week apart. They closed Yankee Stadium. They had every living Hall of Famer, star-studded affair. A week later, they closed Shea. They had 45 ex-Mets representing 45 years. They had them line up on the third base side and the first base side, and they each took turns touching home plate for one last time. Problem is, for some of them, it was the first time. But I couldn't help noticing Dwight Gooden, Darryl Strawberry, Keith Hernandez, they were all standing next to each other on the third base side, so it was good to see them share a line one last time. But we have Yankee fans, right? Yeah. You miss Boomer, David Wells. I liked him. As a Met fan, I kind of got it. He had a Babe Ruth quality. Like, you know why they got rid of him? He wrote a book and admitted he pitched a perfect game with a hangover. And they said he tarnished the Yankee image. Now think about the Yankee image a second. Babe Ruth lost half a season to syphilis. Fritz Peterson and Mike Kekich swapped wives, kids, and dogs. And Louis Polonia banged a 12-year-old. Remember Louis Polonia? They used to call him the tortoise because he got there before the hare. Louis Polonia. So that's how it's going to be. His favorite pregame meal was chicken statutory. So I finally did go to New City Field, New Shea. It was a giveaway. It was Michael J. Fox bobblehead doll night. You know what? At least he knew when to retire from the public eye. Seriously, I used to do a bit about Dick Clark, and since I've been on my honeymoon, I found out he died. And I got to be honest, when you heard that Dick Clark died, I don't wish death on anybody, but wasn't it a little bit of a relief that we don't have to hear him do the countdown anymore? Seriously. Isn't New Year supposed to be out the old man, in with the baby in the diapers, right? Nobody wanted an old man in diapers doing the countdown. Every year was Ryan Seacrest, and now an American institution, Dick Clark with the countdown. 14, 9, February, I have to make. Dick Clark gave a whole new meaning to the phrase stroke of midnight. Now listen, while we're on that subject, I don't believe in mandatory retirement, but if people are in the public eye, we should be able to vote to tell them to get the hell out. They don't want to hear Dick Clark for the last 10 years doing the countdown, right? Hugh Hefner, my rule is as soon as his chin and his nose are actually touching, he's got to stay in the grotto. That's it. Roger Ebert, you can write all the reviews you want, Roger, but the next time he shows up on a red carpet with that little turkey giblet hanging from what was part of his jaw, it's a little rough, isn't it? I'm sorry. The new movie that just came out, it begins with a P. It's like the Prometheus. Thank you. Prometheus. He actually, it said in the paper, he gave it 2 thumbs up. And I'm thinking, well, how do they know for sure, Maybe he was just trying to signal the nurse. I'm going to burn for this. You're not even laughing. Thanks a lot. Right around now, a lot of you are just staring at the size of my head. I can sense that. You know what it is? When I was a little kid, I had a big head. And people would look at my dad, who was a pretty big dude, and they said, well, don't worry, he's going to grow into it. What nobody told me was that as I grew, so would my head! You have a big head when you sit down in a movie theater and you hear 2 rows behind you in unison go, shit. Or you go to try out a new barber, he gives you an estimate. Well, you know what a priest and a barber have in common? They both give you a lollipop if you sat still.